All the way from the start, I can feel it in my heart, like all the way from the start.
Hey, what's going on out there? I'm Sean Devine. Hope you all are doing well. Today I've got a new video. This is by request, and we're going to talk about how to save and share your Logic Pro X project files, but in a very optimized way. So I want to talk about how to get rid of a lot of the extraneous takes and things that are not being used in the session that are not only going to take up a lot of space on your hard drive when you're saving your sessions, but also when you're sending files. In the case of, say, this one, this is coming from an artist who is getting me to mix this session. So when it was sent to me, if I show you, let's just go to the desktop. This is the actual session that was sent. It is 1.5 gigs, which is quite a large session file. And that's without the track outs for the beat. So we've got quite a few vocal tracks, but still it doesn't seem like this should be 1.5 gigs. The reason for that is he's got hundreds of outtakes in here. And this is probably the way that you are saving your files. So first, let's get rid of all those outtakes. So I'm going to go up here to our browser. We're going to click this and we're going to go to the project. And then I'm going to go up to this edit menu. As you can see, as I scroll, I mean, there's literally hundreds and hundreds. So we're going to go to edit and we're going to go to select unused. So we'll select all that. So this is all the unused files that are included in this session. No reason to have those. Now, if you want to save a backup and keep those for your own sake, but for those of you who want to save some space on your hard drive and also just optimize when you're sending this stuff out, we're going to then just hit delete and it's going to take those out. And then now I'm going to go up to the file menu and I'm going to go to project management and we're going to go to cleanup. And then we're going to make sure to select delete unused, delete backups, and delete the media browser files. So we'll click OK. And then it's going to show us all those unused files and we'll click OK. So that will get rid of all that stuff. Looks a lot more manageable over here in our browser window, right? So then we're going to go up to our save as, and we can save it as a package or a folder. Now, many of you have questions about what's the difference between a package and a folder. A package, it just puts it all into one project file and everything's consolidated into that one. Versus when we do a folder, you have access to like the tracks, the audio tracks versus the session file. And then there's some other assets that are saved all separately. I like to use it with a folder just so that you have direct access to the audio files. For instance, if we do it as a package, I'll show you. Let's just go back to the desktop real quick. And this was sent to me as a package. So if I am to look at that, it's just the Logic Pro X project file. So I double click on that and it opens it up in Logic. However, I can't access just the track files if I wanted to, for instance, the audio files. So I'll show you the difference here. Let's go back and we're going to go and save as, and we're going to save it as a folder. And then we want to make sure, you'd be amazed at how many times people send me their projects and they've just not checked this copy audio files. If you don't copy that and you haven't already consolidated those files into the session, it will not include those. So we want to make sure that whoever you're sending this to gets all of the audio files that are there. So, and I just go ahead and I check all this other stuff as well. You don't necessarily have to include Apple Sound Library, but you can just to be safe. So then we're going to go to the desktop and I'm going to go to up here and we'll call this optimized. And then we'll click save. And it's going to copy our audio files. Now let's go back to the desktop and I'll show you the difference now when we have a folder. So this is the saved as a folder option versus saving it as a project. And I'm going to double click that. And there we have our audio files separated. So if you needed to access those, it's just a handy thing, especially for the mix engineers, those of us out there who may need to put those into a different session or different DAW. Now with the project, you can still access that stuff, but it takes a couple of different steps. You got to right click, go to show package contents, media, and then it's in there, audio files. So just a couple of different steps. You can still get to it, but again, it's just easier to do it as a folder. So I want to show you what a huge difference this makes in terms of our project size. If we right click that session now, we were at 1.5 gigabytes when we started. Now, after doing our optimization and getting rid of all those tracks we didn't use, we're now at 300 megabytes. So that is a small fraction, about a fifth of the size to be exact. So you can imagine if you were saving all of your sessions in this way with all this extraneous audio files, you're going to fill up a hard drive really quick. And maybe this is going to be a revelation for some of you who are saving your Logic Pro X files this way. You're going to free up a lot of space on your hard drive. And you're also going to make life easier for the mix engineers or the other engineers who may be working on your sessions, or maybe the other artists that you're collaborating with. One thing I forgot to mention is if you do decide to use the folder option, some of you are going to ask, well, how do I now send this as a single file? You know, when I'm using an upload service, all you need to do is just right click and compress it to a single zip file. And that will give you a slightly smaller file actually. And again, we'll just have that entire folder combined into one. Now, if you use the project file, the single project file, you don't necessarily have to compress it, although again, it might free up even more space that way. All right, y'all, so just a quick trick to optimize your Logic Pro project files and folders so that we're not including a bunch of extraneous audio information. It's going to free up a lot of space for your hard drive, and it's also going to make it to where you don't have to upload such a huge file, save you some time, right? So I hope this helps. If you have any questions about saving optimized Logic project files, feel free to leave a comment below. If you learned anything in the video, please like, subscribe, and consider sharing. We'll talk to you soon.